guy from Morocco who sent a lot of photos how he have a plantations of wheat around his country. Very nice photos. I blocked him on Twitter for sophistry. I still don't like to
That's true.
unblock him, but unfortunately I gave my word, and because I gave my word, I better do it. And what is your favorite children book when you was a child? Do you ever read books? What was your, you know, children books?
Oh, classic shit. I know the word. I mean, I know the titles in French. So there's Tom Pouce, about like a tiny boy who used to have adventures. But I don't remember those well. The one I remember, I was more like 11 or 12. It was in French. It's L'île au trésor. So that would be the Treasure Island by.
Mm-hmm.
So that was it. That's the one that I remember most. And
Yeah,
then at 13, I read what is translated in English into Arabian Nights.
yeah,
In French, it's Les Mille et Une Nuits.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
huge. It was 4 volumes. It was written like 1,000 years ago, and there's
Yes,
a lot of porn in it. So
yeah,
imagine a picture a 13-year-old boy reading about like hardcore porn, like with animals and stuff.
yeah.
So
How did you
yeah.
manage to find this book?
Oh, it's really, it's a classic. It's a classic. So it was in
Yeah,
our. I mean,
I need to
it was
read
in
it. It
home.
sounds interesting. I need to read it. I actually haven't read
I
it. Is it in Persian? Which
I don't.
language it is originally
No,
written?
it's in Arabic. It was written in. I mean, the original text is Arabic. I read it exactly as it was written 1,000 years ago, because Arabic is one. I mean, classical Arabic, the one we learn in school, not the one we speak at home. The
Yeah,
one we learn in school, it was one of the most preserved languages, live languages. It's like you would still watch the news in TV in Latin.
yeah,
That's how old it is. So you can still read stuff written 15 centuries ago and kind of understand it. And like
yeah,
cartoons now are still translated in that kind of Arabic. So that's the kind of classical Arabic we grew up on.
yeah.
So
But
yeah.
what you mean, sort of understood? How different the language at the end of the day from common language that you speak today?
Oh, it's very. I mean, it's quite different. I mean, we're talking 15 centuries.
Yeah,
So consider the difference between Latin and Italian and French and Spanish. So
yeah,
it's probably deeper than that, because what happened is that a country like Morocco, we're basically Berber. Now
yeah,
it's politically incorrect to say Berber, so we say Amazigh.
yeah.
But we're Berber. It's a completely different language, and for like the first centuries, we were like what you expect Iran to be, like a non-Arabic country but
Mm-hmm,
Muslim. So like,
mm-hmm,
but the process of Arabization took several centuries
mm-hmm,
before big size of Moroccans considered themselves Arabs.
mm-hmm,
So the Arabic we speak, I suspect we have Arabic words, but the grammar is not
mm-hmm,
Arabic. It's definitely not Arabic. So like
mm-hmm.
we struggle in school because kids go to school and they learn uh, classical Arabic and they struggle. It's not simple at all, especially the grammar. It's really
Mm-hmm.
different,
Mm-hmm.
and that's one of the most that gets Nassim Talib very angry when people tell he's Arab or he speaks or writes Arabic. He says, no, I'm writing in Levantine. It's very different. It's not the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think he exaggerates it a bit, but he's kind of right. Like when you
Mm-hmm.
can compare the Moroccan dialect with the dialects from Saudi Arabia or Syria or Iraq, it's quite different. And
Mm-hmm.
the only reason why a Moroccan would understand Egyptian or Lebanese is because they have a very rich cultural production, like lots of
Mm-hmm.
songs and TV shows and movies
Mm-hmm.
that we have been watching since we were kids. So we
Mm-hmm.
kind of understand it, but they don't understand Moroccan. Like if I speak Moroccan, a
Mm-hmm.
Lebanese or an Egyptian wouldn't understand me.
Mm-hmm.
So
So by the time that they shoot Casablanca, the situation,
41 or 42.
political situation in Morocco was kind of a free zone with European people living there, making money, drinking, gambling. But then something happened later, like around 1960s, 1970s, 1980s. There was changes in the country, right? There is like I guess it became more locked down to a state like which is not allowed this kind of transitions for the foreigners,
Okay.
right?
No, it's way more complicated than that.
Yeah.
So by the time they shot Casablanca, Morocco was a French protectorate between 1912 and 1956. So it's kind of like one generation, okay? They didn't stay long. And that's why we preserved much of our identity and even political structure. We still have the king and the deep government, deep state and everything. So when we were ruled by the French, of course there were you call them not free zones but liberal zones. So zones where there are like casinos and bars and people drink alcohol and they're like
Yeah.
very European like. So
Yeah.
that's the context where you can picture the film Casablanca. Okay. So what happened is we gained our independence in '56 from the French and the because Morocco was sliced up between France and Spain in a very vicious way. Like the Spanish took like the northern like 50 kilometers band, and then the French took the middle, and then the Spanish took the Sahara, and then the French took Mauritania, which we couldn't regain. So now it's an independent country. So when we got our independence in '56, the French remained because we didn't have enough intelligentsia and engineers and people to run the country.
Yeah.
So they were leaving little by little, okay? And some neighborhoods who used to be mostly European started like over a decade and a half. Europeans started leaving and being replaced by Morocco. At some point in the early '70s, the king felt confident enough. He considered that we have enough competencies and engineers and statesmen that we could run our own things. So there was the how would I translate that? The Moroccanization of the economy. So the French, especially the businessmen, were pretty much asked to leave. They told them, you cannot be majority stakeholder in company. You need a Moroccan partner. Okay.
Do you think the
So
reason
a lot
for
of
that
them
was really patriotics, or do you think it's more what was the real reasons? Do you think for these changes? Not
it's
only
always
because
a mix
king
of
wake up in the morning. I guess it's
no,
important, but
yeah.
there should be some other reasons to that.
There are several reasons. One of them is the king needed to gain loyalty from politicians, from people in the army, because there were two coups, attempted coups that didn't work, but it was pretty violent. And so it was like of a reward, because if all at once the king says, look, every French businessman needs a partner. He needs the partner to be at least 51%. So the French were like striving to find a partner. Like you are at home and he knocks the door and say, please get 50% of my company. I need you.
Yeah.
So it was a reward for. There's a whole class of people loyal to the king who became millionaires overnight.
Yeah. Right. But
I
who
guess
was
something similar happened in Russia after
but
the.
what was the reason for the coup? Is it another tribes? Is it like foreign intelligences?
No, I think the Moroccan dynasty, and we have the same dynasty for like 3 centuries and a half. It's the same family that's ruling Morocco. It's very Lindy, if you want. And their policy wasn't divide and conquer. It wasn't like create lines of division between different tribes and ethnies. Not like what like Saddam Hussein did. It was on the contrary. I need to get everybody mixed up. I want Berbers to get married to Arabs and have mixed kids. I want everybody to mixed up. and it was like the Sultan would ask tribes to move to some other area and stuff like that, much like what Stalin did with the Tatars, but it was in a punishing way.
Yeah.
But that's what. So no, it wasn't ethnic. Fortunately, it was really hunger for power. So the first coup, it was a general. So it was a general, and there are always like bullshit slogans about like we want the republic, we want freedom, we want socialism or stuff like that.
Which
So
made
the
it say
first coup, it was
that there is foreigner influence. That is when they
not really
even
about
today
that.
when they have a protests in Russia, it's of course it's Russian protests, and everybody think Putin is bad, stuff like that. But a lot of what they're doing in a proxy through over kind of European
Yeah,
intellect that they very distortedly understood as the Russians who didn't read any fucking intellectual books anyway. So they think they have some kind of fight for freedom, but it's not fight for freedom they're doing. What they're doing is
yeah,
sabotaging,
sure.
sabotaging the governmental infrastructure is not, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
it's like that when they start to do it this way, it is always not without interested parties from other countries that's doing it. There
Huh.
is no, it's not good, it's not bad, it's just a fact, I guess, because
And
liberty and stuff like that is the best weapon to kill the governments. It's not about liberty at the end of the day. It's about to make an excuse to get into the house or whatever. They're going to
that's
shout.
it. That's
They're
yeah.
going to shout
That was
liberty,
the army.
liberty,
Yeah,
and they're going to kill. Redistribute. This is liberty.
exactly.
Yeah.
So in the Moroccan context, I mean, I don't care about what they were shouting, but it was the army that did it. Okay,
Yeah.
and they were a minority within the army. They just like said we might be lucky, so they took the radio and they started broadcasting that the regime has changed and now the king is dead and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
actually, they stormed his palace during his birthday party. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
they
This is what
took army
happened to.
cadets.
I was once traveling to Nepal. I think they killed the whole the whole family. The whole royal family was
Oh
killed
God.
in one night during the party too. I think it's kind of
Oh
a
yeah.
common
So this
trend.
happened in it happened in 71 during the king's birthday party, and they killed like 100 attendees. You know, they
Yeah,
were those were nice people. You know, some
yeah,
diplomats and stuff like that. They were killed, and the king maybe he hid in the toilets or something like that. And he was a very charismatic man. So
yeah,
when he got face to face with a army cadet, he told him, "I'm your fucking king, okay?
yeah.
So go gather some of your friends and come here to protect me." And
Uh-huh.
the guys just shat his pants, you know. So he
Yeah,
did it, and
yeah,
like by some miracle, he turned the situation upside down, and he
yeah,
regained control of the situation. It's
yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
And so that was the first attempt. So they got fired. It was on TV and stuff like that. They were all fired.
Uh-huh.
Uh, a year later, his most close general
Mm-hmm.
tried to kill him in a very spectacular way. He was coming back from France, and the general sent 5 F-5 fighters.
Yeah. To shut down the
Yeah,
plane or something like that.
to shut down the plane. And
Yeah,
so the plane was right on the Mediterranean Sea, and there were 5 fighter jets firing at the plane, and they
yeah.
didn't get it.
This
It
is
was
terrible.
like again.
How they
So
managed to not shut down the plane? How
I
can you
mean,
have? It's
I don't know, but I read the king's memoir. You know, he wrote some memoirs in like '93,
yeah,
and he wrote, I had two feelings. I had a feeling of like I'm afraid for my life and for my country and legacy,
yeah,
and then I had a deep feeling of shame. Is
yeah,
this my army? Are those my pilots? What a shame! They couldn't
yeah,
like. There's 5 of them. They couldn't shut down a Boeing
yeah. It's very
7047 or
weird.
something like that.
It's very weird.
So
Yeah,
it's weird, and it created some kind of aura, like the king has God's
yeah,
protection. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
a miracle each time. and it's kind of settled the situation. There were no more coups after that, and people
Yeah.
just accepted the idea that the king is protected by God, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. Still, he's
So
still
so
alive. He's still alive, King.
no, he died in '99.
Uh
Now
huh.
it's his son.
Uh huh.
Um, so yeah, it's they're probably at like maybe 12th or 15th generation now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a
Mm-hmm.
very solid dynasty. They have a very deep understanding of the Moroccan society and culture in
Mm-hmm.
what really works.
Mm-hmm.
They define themselves as really as the glue of our society, and I'm starting to believe it's true, really,
Uh huh. Uh
because
huh.
when I see how things go south everywhere around, I
Yeah.
start wondering, yeah, maybe it's a good thing to have a king that claims that his power is given by God, you know?
Yeah. Is it still? Is he more like a king of England or queen of England? Or he have a, like a
No,
role, or is he really ruling stuff? Like
no, he's
it.
really ruling.
Oh yeah.
He's so much ruling because we have a government that is somehow appointed through elections and stuff like that. Okay, we have parties in election and we have a
Yeah.
government. It's kind of transparent, but um, it's the. I mean, we also have what we call a shadow government, and so
Mm-hmm.
the king
Yeah. Yeah.
has what do you call it? Des conseillers, advisors,
Yeah. Yeah.
advisors, and is like it's a mirror of the real government. So you have advisors in uh, economy or in every aspect of politics, and
Yeah.
uh, and those are the ones who have the real power. Like it's
Yeah.
not the prime minister who will say, you know what, I'm gonna build the biggest
Yeah,
port
but I
in the
guess it's also
Mediterranean.
like a traditional way for almost every country in the world. I mean, that's
Yeah,
other
yeah, yeah.
governments, you know?
That's what I come to realize now. You know,
Yeah.
at some point you see that they don't really rule. You know, the ones
Yeah, a lot of politics is
the
just a show, you know?
yeah,
It's like
exactly,
it's just like why they call they empty suits because the guy cannot really, behave like I suppose when you have a suit, you should be like a man who supposed to make decisions, you know? But if you just
exactly,
wearing a suit and you're not making decisions, what is the purpose of your official, you know? Yeah, but in
exactly.
Russia
It's
and
just that it's
everywhere.
more obvious here. Yeah,
And of course, America is the main kind of set trendsetter in this regard, and everybody knows this, and even Americans know this. I mean, when you get a large enough infrastructure, of course, you get politicians make decisions, but they didn't make important decisions. All decisions they made is just
exactly,
they
exactly.
make like
Like
cosmetic
a
decisions.
politician will supervise, say, you know what, I will bring electricity to this region, or I will extend the highway
Yeah,
system or something like that. But the king is gonna say, you know what, I want a fast train that goes from Tangiers to Agadir, and it's gonna
yeah,
cost $5 billion, and fuck you, you know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
so
Is he
that's
built a
how it
train? Is
works.
it a nice train? Did you got it? Is the train
I
ready?
didn't. I'm not. Since I bought my car, I didn't use trains that much.
How
But
expensive?
it's
How
fast.
expensive is Morocco to live compared to I don't know to what? How is it
To
like?
Europe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to Europe, to Germany, for example, or I don't know.
Germany is
I was
not
just living in Germany for a few months, so I know how expensive Germany is, but I don't know.
okay. Okay, okay. Um, Look, it's a tricky question. I can give you the statistics. Okay,
No,
there's what we
I just
call
want
the
to have like a to eat, to live there. What is the jobs paying for? Usually, just normal stuff. For example, I think I'm going to tell you how I think about Germany. Germany is
okay.
pretty even, but they have a special case because they pay to artists, to students, so they can hang out and do whatever they want, and government pay for them. But outside of that, Germany seems to be pretty, stable in terms of a lot of small like shops, a lot of like people who are not Germans who making money there. A lot of clubs like for local communities. For example, in Russia, I guess Moscow doing better than Germany, but everything in Moscow is centralized. You get centralized shops, by same brands. You got like universal kind of uh, transportation system and everything. But the disadvantages of such a centralized system is that small people like me wasn't really able to profit from it because most
Oh
of
yeah?
the stuff
How
is
so?
contract based, and contract based, of course, corrupted system of the uh, government. Nothing wrong about it, it just is. But Germany a little bit better for if you want to make money and you don't know anybody, I guess, compared to
Ah,
Moscow.
okay, I get
This is
what you
this
mean.
way what I want to say. In Germany, they're going to accept the precedent of you wanting to have a job. In Russia, they're going a little bit laugh about you first because nobody want any job. If you know how to talk to people, you're supposed to get like without asking. So stuff like this is different. It's also cultural, I guess. Uh, it's supposed
Okay,
to be
your
this
first
way,
question, yeah,
you know?
your first question was about the cost of life. I'm trying
Yeah.
really to give you a
Okay, so I
real
have
answer.
$1,000. Can I live on $1,000? For I
You
guess
can
yes,
live,
right?
of course.
Yeah,
You
five
can live,
hundred
of course, on
dollars.
$1,000. What?
$500. Can I live for $500?
You can. It will be different. It depends. Look, first, it depends on which way of life you want. If you want to
Yeah,
live a Western way of life, so there are
yeah,
some neighborhoods, there are some places where you're gonna buy stuff. You'll have to own a car. Uh,
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah. No,
expensive
no,
if you
just a
want to
simple.
live the European way. But if you want to live the Moroccan way, like
Yeah,
live in a what we call popular neighborhood,
yeah,
where rent is cheap, but it's
yeah,
overcrowded, okay,
yeah,
and it's not very pretty
yeah,
visually, okay.
yeah.
So like you walk in the street and there might be like open
I know.
sewage and
I
stuff
love
like
some
that. Okay.
suburbs of Moscow. I know how not pretty stuff
So
looks.
yeah,
I
so
sent
that's
to
it. So
Florida.
yeah,
I have a guy from Florida. I send him all the time photos how it looks. So he have a little bit touch of
oh,
reality.
we're
You
talking
know?
about Mike, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Tampa Bay
How is
Mike.
the crime in these areas that are not pretty? Is the crime a big thing in Morocco?
Um, Not as big as elsewhere.
Yeah,
Uh, First, we don't have firearms. Okay, they are not
yeah.
widespread. They're very, very closely monitored. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so even when people get in fights, it's gonna be knives, and they're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be, they're gonna be injuries, but that's it. Okay,
Yeah,
so we have a
yeah.
very low murder rate or death rate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's important. Uh, in popular neighborhoods, it's overcrowded, so everybody's watching,
Yeah,
and there are a lot of joblessness, so people are just like outside, hanging out
yeah,
outside and watching.
yeah,
It's rarely empty, so it's actually safer than more upscale neighborhoods where it's
yeah.
empty, where
Because there is
nobody's
robbery.
watching.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting,
but
interesting.
in overcrowded areas, like a thief is gonna like take your purse and run for 20 meters before getting intercepted by like four guys up
Yeah,
street.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
That's good.
yeah, no, crime is not a big problem. Like
Yeah.
I think
So
we're
what is
pretty
the big
low
problem?
compared.
What is the big problem today in Morocco?
The big problem today in Morocco. I don't know. Look, I'm not a typical Moroccan.
Yeah, but
I'm
you have your own understanding of stuff. Of course, you're not going to give me. I'm not. We're not a NATO like a discussion group. I'm just asking as a friend.
yeah.
I'm not. I don't
Yeah,
want.
yeah, I know, but I'm
I don't want to
afraid
have a
to.
like.
Yeah, I'm afraid to give a biased view.
Yeah,
I'm the Moroccan who's happy to join the consumerist cohort.
yeah. What you mean,
I
consumerist? You got a car. What you want? You want Uber Eats? What is your understanding of consumerist culture? What is it
it's
like?
it's having a nice
You have
house and a
somebody
nice
cleaning your
car.
house. You have like
I do, I
yeah,
do.
yeah,
For a very long time, I didn't want to, but since but we've had our kid, and at some point my wife
That's what
said,
you
no,
understand. Okay, I
we're
understand.
not like modern Europeans. No, we're gonna have a housemate. And
Modern Europeans have a housemate a lot.
I don't
I
know.
guess they
I
try
don't
to
think
say
so.
they no they say they try to not talk about it, but they have it. Believe me.
The ones I know who are
I
like
never
really
met
middle
one
class.
without it. I never met
Oh
a
yeah,
European
seriously.
householder without a maid, except maybe John Norman, who is crazy. John Norman just living in a
Oh yeah, the
in
homestead.
yeah, he have a wife who take care of stuff,
Yeah. We work. Both of us work.
but it's good. But
The
it's good
kid.
you pay money for people there. I think you should be proud of this. You shouldn't be ashamed. Like, oh, I didn't want
Yeah.
somebody
If
making money and supporting their family too because of you. I always do that. If I have money, I
yeah.
hire people
Why
to do
not?
stuff.
It's a good
And
way to look at it, but no, because you alienate that person. You outsource. I mean,
then if you
your
think you
marital.
alienate, then don't get it. There is no
I
kind of
know, that's why I was conflicted about that, because look, it's
you conflicted
hard
about
in a
no.
couple to share the chores, the house chores, and who's gonna do the laundry and who's gonna do this and that. It's a frequent subject of fight, you know.
Yeah,
Plus, especially when you have a kid and stuff like that, it's really
yeah,
the
brother.
most
I
frequent
know.
subject of fight. And when you outsource that,
Yeah,
you gain a great peace of mind, and like um, you
yeah.
really
Life is
feel
better.
better. You have less conflict. But that woman that works in your house and spends the night in your house, she will not have. I mean, she can't have uh, a good life. I mean, she might have kids elsewhere, or I mean, I don't know if you see what I understand, but
Buy
like
her.
your
Yeah,
happiness is
okay.
at the
I know.
expense of
Pay her
someone
more.
else good balance in life, you know.
Oh, brother, you have this existential problems. That says you have like a crisis of middle age crisis. It's just called middle age
I
crisis. You
do.
want? Yes.
I do. I'm almost 40, so that's that.
Yeah.
It's
You have a middle
kind
age
of
crisis. This is called middle age crisis. Then you need
I
to
don't
go
know.
to church or whatever you have in Morocco. And do you religious? Do you? There is a lot
No.
of people. I'm very surprised how many people not religious. You one of them, right? You just think religion
Yeah, I'm not.
for
I'm
a
not.
poor people who have no other time. The
It came.
I think people think
Yeah.
that religion is something that people who doesn't have a Audi and doesn't have a TV at home, they just kind of get connected with religion because what else to do? But actually, it's like
I don't think so. That's
this is
not how
what
it works.
really Westerner idea. For example, going back to this protest in Moscow that happened like discotheques. They happened one last week. Today, everybody talking about. I wonder how many people were religious who are doing it. And I think not many. And this is telling a lot. It's not like I'm pro-religion guy and
Yeah.
think everybody need to go to church or anything. But I think if you don't understand the certain concepts, like Taleb say, like lindy concepts that society built upon, you're much more vulnerable to make mistakes in certain areas. And one of the areas is that disrespect for authority should be backed up by the good uh, skill level of the somebody who is disrespecting authority. If you're not better than authority you're disrespecting, then there is no kind of real precedent of
I
change.
I went I went through different stages. First, I was a religious person up until like age 25. You know,
Wow,
I used to
interesting.
pray 5 times a day in everything. But I
Yeah,
was conflicted, you know, because you're, I mean, you're kind of educated, you know, the theory of evolution, you know,
yeah,
history and stuff, and dinosaurs and stuff like that, and you see
yeah,
that there's something doesn't line up. But
yeah,
the
dinosaurs.
way I used to cope with it was like, look, we're in a video game, you know. God is a
Yeah, video game.
programmer, and he
Yeah,
programmed it the way he wanted. We are the little Pac-Mans, you know, in the video
yeah.
game. And
Yes.
if God feels like putting fossils underground just to mess up with us, he can do that. I mean, he's the one who created everything, you know?
Yeah.
So that's how I coped
And
with
also, if God
all
going
those
to make you,
contradictions.
I make you a housemate. This is how he going to make you. What you gonna do? God made you a housemate. You have to be happy about it. That's all. Really.
I mean, I didn't subscribe to that part, but the way just how I kept being religious, although there were all those contradicting data coming upon, you know.
Yeah.
But at some point at age 25, I was reading an old book that we had at home that we have been having for like 10 years at that point. It was
What book
about
was that?
different cult, the history. It it was really a pop book. It was about the history of cults, you know.
Yeah.
If you remember the mid 90s, there were a lot of cults in Japan, the ones with
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
sarin attack,
Military
and
ones. Yeah.
David Koresh in the
Yeah. Yeah.
US who burned down the place and
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
was an
There
old
is a
book
good
that I've
Netflix.
already read.
There is a good Netflix show about the Osho cult, which is
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
popular among New
I
Ages.
haven't
I forgot
watched
the
it
name of
yet,
it.
but
Good stuff.
yeah. So I was reading that. I was reading that book about the cults. In like, I had so much information all at once. It was the same pattern, you know, the cults. It was the same pattern. There's a god that comes to his tribe and says, "You'll never believe what happened to me. God
Yeah.
just spoke to me. This is crazy, dude." And there are like a handful of people who will kind of gravitate around that guy. And at some point, the guy will want women. You say, "Yeah, I want to fuck this girl, that other girl." And
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't, but I
So
can
you
because I'm
became
a
not
prophet
okay.
and stuff like that.
Spare me the details. I understand the critique. So you became not religious, right? Since
Yeah,
25
that's when
years.
I said, "Oh, so a religion is that a cult, is just a cult that succeeded, right?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like
It's just a
Silicon
cult.
Valley. It's just there are like 400 people who start a company in their garage, and then you got Steve Jobs, you know.
This
So
is like a evolutionary theory for God worshippers. You get a lot of small cockroaches, cults, then you get a big dinosaur like Christianity that eat everybody
exactly,
else.
yeah, you have several
Yeah.
startups, and then you have lucky Bill
Yes.
Gates that emerges
Yes.
from the
Yes.
crowd,
But the
and
problem with
so
this approach is
yeah.
one small problem is that people who supposed to think about religion, they didn't know religion themselves. And I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about these guys who philosophizing in this way and try to quantize the faith and whatever. That is not a.
You mean Christopher Hitchens or Stephen Dawkins and stuff like that?
No, I don't know. I just don't want to be criticized
Richard
to
Dawkins,
you
sorry.
because I don't know you. But I met a lot of
Yeah,
people. It's not necessarily the big names like Richard Dawkins or whatever. My point is, these people don't understand that the function of religion consists in not in power. Real power of religious sects of any kind, is it Buddhism or Christianity or Islam, consists in the belief and the submission of the students of religion, of worshippers, and this is the real power of religion. So it's never a good idea to it's like having a housemate and you insult her that you have a house and she doesn't or whatever. It's the same what you're doing when you try to describe religion as part of the Olympic Games of religions. It's going to be very insult. This is what people don't understand. People think we live in a world where reason is the main power. So you need to
yeah,
understand
yeah,
it.
yeah,
You
totally.
need to understand it, and then you tell everybody, and they understand it back, and you have a happy life. You get Tesla car, go to Mars, whatever. But it's not so. The cornerstone of religious beliefs is a sacrifice. So whenever anybody try to kind of get outside of the state of being human and try to observe how religion works, will never going to understand somebody who practice religion deeply. And this is why I personally never attack no religious people.
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. I
I
came to that
respect
same realization,
I
except that it took
respect I
me
respect the faith. You
a
know,
long
faith
time.
very important part. It's not to be messed about. Just because you have a
I do
Reddit
too
or
now.
something like that doesn't solve that equation. So it's like that, you know. This is my point.
So yeah, because as I told you, that was in the beginning, you know. So
Yeah,
I
yeah, I
started
understand.
to follow Richard Dawkins and Christopher Hitchens and Daniel Dennett and stuff like that. It was like, yeah, fuck religion and stuff like that. But in the same time, I started to have discussions with like my family who are religious and who are really, really smart. Like I have a sister who's really way smarter than me. And
Mm-hmm.
the way she explained it to me is, look, I know what it brings me, you know, I know how it makes me feel. If you got something better than that, show it to me. But if you don't, just shut the fuck up, you know? And it's, in a way, it's like when you trick yourself, like you add like 5 minutes in your watch so that you say, oh my God, I'm gonna be late. I gotta hurry. You know that you added 5 minutes to your watch, but you force yourself to believe in your own lie, and it makes your life better, you know? Like
This is
you
kind of
create a myth.
this is this you know what is very interesting in the critique of religion always is a very narrow um, argument based. I don't know how to explain. It's just like you cannot change the you cannot change how people understand life, and I get it. You know, you just have a your own uh, way of see it, and I respect it. But there's the the because you never, I guess, study the like religion philosophy aspect of it or whatever. You lacking the like. You're lacking human ability to invent something. So, for example, it's not a time that is interesting in when people change time to 5 minutes ahead. It's why they did it and what it
Mm,
makes to happen to them. So my fucking complicated speech is narrowed down to the idea that even between us, we cannot measure certain things. It's not time, fate, and whatever, love or hate. I don't know. And so religion have much more meters to measure than our lives. And it's just whenever people try to put it in a box in some way, it does more harm to them first because you're not going to change the structure of it. But it's also interesting how much we accept to simplify our lives. You say we live in a program, in a computer game. It seems like some people want to play checkers and some people want to play chess if they accept they live in a computer game. And so is this. I prefer to simplify my own life, not life around me. So I'm not. I have lost. I was in my 20s, convinced I can convince people to do stuff, and I was convinced I was uh, gonna be great at thinking about big problems of life. And this was very disillusioned experience. And I wake up one day and realize I don't want to change nobody ever, and I'm not interested to change nobody. I guess you can call it a fate, a leap of faith. I just have a belief, in some kind of positive outcome. But I'm not I'm not a guy who going to fix stuff in this way, and I'm not philosophizing about it, about religions and stuff like this. For me, it's not. It's outside of my interests, and so
okay.
my point is this: people who downplay religion, they people just like in Freud. Uh, Description: when you see banana in your dream you probably need a cock in your ass, or whatever was the description. I don't know, I didn't get deep into psychology, but people who criticize religion, they want to be, and I think Stephen Gray say it too, they need to, they have their own religion and they want to have replacement of what they see outside as a Christianity or Buddhism or Islam, which they don't understand because they don't practice, to
Mm,
something
mm,
that they want. They feel like they have better tools to fix it, and they have to, it either like reason or machines or Bitcoin in certain instances, or Nassim Taleb, or whatever. It's this
mm,
people need something that religion, like for your sister, that makes them sufficient and full. And there is a lot of other people who have a other like ways to cook it or whatever. And that's basically, I think this basically narrows down the problem. So you're not changing the like your destiny as a human being by changing religion. What you really actually doing is you kind of uh, making stock exchange from you know from a lot of options to very small. And actually it's very small option is believing in your own ideas about religion, not practicing religion. Practicing religion is a lot of different options for somebody. For your sister, ask
There's,
her. So
yeah,
this is it, you know. It's how he make you
the,
feel. It's just she say it this way because there is no really way to explain certain.
yeah, look, we're as human in evolutionary theory. There's a big debate. Like all schools agree on the fact that we have a religion-shaped hole in each and every one of us. Okay, we are made for religion. If it's not one of the official religions, it's gonna be something pretty much like it, like as you said, Bitcoin or Tesla or whatever. We have a part of our brain that's dedicated to religion. So the question in evolutionary theory is it? It's either one of two. Either the religion per se presented an advantage for people, and that's how it prevailed. Like religious tribes were more successful than non-religious tribes, and after 1,000 generations, everybody became shaped for religion.
Yeah,
Or
but the
it's
heads of
a
religion wasn't successful, and this is what the main message are. It's not about success, and I understand survival idea of it. Survival idea also very shallow. The best idea is that the organizers of religion wasn't successful in the first place, and even God in some religion wasn't successful. He made mistake. There is a devil, there is a negativity, black matter, something. So the general
always.
idea of the religion, as far as I understand it today, is not in the is not a political system. It's I guess more like I don't know. I'm losing words that going to not sound like they coming out of Naval mouth. Something it's more about none of the first practitioners of any religion was successful as as anything. They didn't have kids
Mm-hmm.
or they got beaten up, nailed on the cross.
Mm-hmm.
They left the house
Exiled or
and the
whatever.
palace and whatever. So just because you got people successful, it it's not, in my opinion, a good measurement of the religion that they practice. And religion basically is antidote to death, in my opinion, because there is only two problems that is interesting to discuss, in my opinion. It's sex and death. Sex is not really related to religion, only if you are stupid, narrow-minded, mm, I don't know, Catholic or whatever, who that's against sex or something. But death and religion is two like brother and sister. And so it is not really about having part of your brain designated to religion. It is the inevitability of uh, fall. It doesn't matter if you're successful, if you're a king of Morocco or Starbucks cashier, you have one destiny, everybody. So religion is actually an instrument to fix this problem. And that's where the fate coming from. So fate is not
Probably
measurable.
it's a very solid way to look at it. I like the way
That's
Nassim
how I
Taleb
solve
first
this problem.
framed. Yeah, I like the way Nassim shaped the problem. He said first we use a word religion to describe very different things. You know, so there are a lot of cults and religions that don't address the same issues. Like a religion like Islam, first it's a law. It's a law in a different set of laws. You know, there's Sharia, and uh, it really addresses every aspect of life. Okay, and you have to accept it. And there are more, you'd say, liberal um, uh, faiths that will not tell you whether you should not. I mean, that don't address like if you die, which part of your fortune goes to your boys and which part goes to the girls. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
So so it's misleading. The word religion is very misleading because we might be using the same word but talking about different things.
yeah. Well,
So there's that.
a little bit of problem with these ideas is that they, I understand Taleb have a system, certain system to talk about things, and I like it. I read everything he wrote, except technical stuff. I'm looking forward to read it, but it's just like that. Stuff like this, especially religion, everybody should have a personal understanding, and any system, even so marvelous person as Nassim Taleb, is not going to give you answers to certain things in life. You just
Exactly.
see it
It's
or you don't see it. And I was just thinking about protesters, about people, and about how they don't believe and how foolish it is sometimes to this idea. There's bad idea about people who don't believe. They don't believe, but they want to change anyway. So what are they changing is very different from somebody who is believing in something. Uh, that's it. I'm very, now talking to you, I realized I'm very fascinated by the idea of faith in something. It's a very powerful um, energy. It's
I
kind of
I
like,
like how Paul Portesi talks about it. He says emotional alignment. It's something you realize. It's very hard to articulate in words, but at some point you arrive and you feel it, and that's it. And you can't even explain it to someone else. But the succession of your experiences will take you to a place, and you will feel it, and that's it. And it's your own experience. It's your own. You can't even share it really. Um, I
yeah.
like
So
the
don't ask
way
your sister
he
what
tells
it's
it.
like. Don't ask people to change yourself.
No,
This is the only this is
I
the
I
only
know.
magic.
It's a journey. I mean, I was telling you how it started, but now maybe, as you said, it's midlife crisis. Maybe it's all the
Midlife
experiences that I
crisis,
lived.
lack of exercises, and sun. You live in Morocco, but I guess you sit at home all day anyway. You need to go outside, brother.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And
I'm overweight.
cold
I
shower.
don't take
I
cold
always tell,
showers. I
yes. How you don't take cold
I
showers? It's a miracle of life, you know?
I used to take old showers for like 3 months. The water heater, was kaput. It
Yeah,
was like 10 years ago. It was broken, and I didn't repair it, and it was in December. So it was no, it's not Russia cold. I
yeah,
guess it was something like 15 degrees Celsius. But for like 3 months, I took cold showers, but
yeah,
it wasn't a pleasure, and I was into optimization. Like, you know what? I will start with the hair because that's what takes the most
yeah,
most time. I will wash the hair first, and then I get the rest of the body, soap it, and clean it within like 30 seconds. And that was it. And that was for
yeah,
like 30 months. For
yeah.
3 months, sorry. But then no, I
How
should do it.
heroic you are. Still, you did three
Yeah.
months. This is crazy. This is better. I
No,
have
it's
I have Malaysian friend Trishang, you know him, who is like
yeah,
doing
yeah,
10
yeah,
seconds. And I laugh at him because 10 seconds is just like, it's not even enough to get the water from pipe to your body. It's like, it's so short time. It's like, and he
yeah, yeah.
thinks
No,
he
but
also he also love optimization. He think it's like he got 80% of benefit for 5% of
oh yeah,
uh of
Pareto shower,
energy.
right?
Yeah. Huh? So what you
Pareto
say?
shower.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Pareto,
yeah.
20%,
Yeah,
80%.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, this is the thing about showers is that you don't want to do it ever. You don't. I don't. I don't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Every morning I think I was telling it before, but every morning I feel I don't want to do it. But every time I did it, which is more interesting, it feels like worth it. So it's a great tool to. Uh, I'm 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 into this. I don't trust my uh, inner voice or whatever you call it. Like when you get like I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Once I start to feel like I don't want to do something, I try to do it, and it's like I get amazing results from this. So
I know.
cold
You have a
showers,
good
brother.
brain chemistry. You have a good brain chemistry. You know, I'm very deterministic. I really believe in determinism. I'm very
Yeah,
Spinoza when it comes to that. It has to do with the brain chemistry. There are very little things that we can really change within ourselves. I believe in a journey. A journey can make you change over time because of the experiences you live. But like willpower, I don't believe in that at all.
I
There's no
had a
such thing
girlfriend
as
just like you once. I was falling in love with her, and she was trying to sit me down and to explain it's just a chemical process in your brain. It was very
it's
insulting.
yeah,
But at the end,
but it is.
I got my
I can
revenge.
inject you. I can inject you with some serotonin bullshit, and you will completely change. You can have a brain injury, and you can complete your personality will completely change. It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
100% chemical and neurological.
Of course.
That's the
I
thing.
know. Yeah,
I like the idea or the illusion of free will. It's necessary. In a
yeah,
society must be organized about the very idea of free will because otherwise
yeah,
it's
yeah.
chaos. So the criminals need to be punished and stuff like that. You need to
No,
base the
I'm
laws.
up for injecting serotonin. I want to inject, and please, I need a serotonin injection. As they need to develop it. But so far, I'm just happy with my beliefs. This is what keeps me really going. This is
And what are your beliefs regarding free will, for example?
of course it exists. Of course, free will
Oh, you
exists.
think so?
Even yeah, and I think it's the most like the defining factor in many. It's like the world is only turning because it's there is something to the turning in it. I don't know how to explain, but uh,
Here's the
I'm not
closest
a
I am
practicer. I'm not
to
a
the act.
practicer, and I'm not an advocate of like challenges or whatever. People, what you mean free will? But I'm also
Here,
convinced that
yeah.
there is like there is a there's a window of opportunity in life, and there is absolutely no reason
Yes,
to use this window of opportunity. So there is
there.
the way to use this window should be exclusively only from from something and whatever you don't this Schopenhauer, but you're talking with the Schopenhauer FM host, and Schopenhauer was all about will, and actually it wasn't a pretty will that make you go to cold shower. It was evil will that make you suffer and die. So you can believe in serotonin but not believe in will. It's up to you, but you know you will never
No,
you I mean, what's the point of believing or not believing in it? It's like it's not going to
oh, there
change
is a
anything.
point. There is a point because you will feel less shitty about yourself. You know, you
Nah,
feel better about yourself because
feeling shitty is how you
look,
actually supposed to feel, and nothing
yes,
better than
but
it.
here's the thing: there are this huge amount of self-help books, starting with Nassim Taleb. There are a lot of ideas like don't seek a salary job and do this and do that. You need to take risk and do this and do that. A lot of self-help books about
It's not
how you
exactly
should live your life.
it's not
I
exactly
know,
self.
but I know, but the point is there are a lot of advice, and it's good advice. Like I promise, if you apply it, you will get better. Okay, whatever you take. I mean, even the bullshit, the bullshitters who write books about how you should become successful, and the Naval thing about investments or anything. Okay, these
Hmm.
are that's good advice. I know it. I know it's true. I know it will work. And for some reason, I don't do it. Okay, I don't do the leap,
But this
and
is not about free will.
that makes me feel shitty about myself. Like, okay,
No, it's actually maybe you using your will to not do it. I don't know. It's like
I
you
don't
can
know.
again, this stuff is it's just a maze what we're
the
doing here. It's not
the
going to.
closest I get to the idea of free will is that you can set your environment. Like there, I never successfully implemented any diet. Okay, the only time I did it successfully, I was living alone, and I said, you know what? When you do the groceries, You buy only things that take time to cook. That you can't eat. You can't eat like raw. You need to invest time in the kitchen and cook them to eat them. Okay, and it worked. I started eating less and I lost weight, and it worked for like a couple of years. But then I got married and it went haywire. But the thing
Yeah,
is,
don't worry
you
about
can
it.
set the environment to change yourself. But the micro decisions that you take every day, it's very exhausting. It's really
Nah,
exhausting.
don't worry about it. Micro decisions, all the stuff. You have a wife and you eat good. Why you need to worry about this stuff, brother? You don't need to change if you don't want to. This is the point.
That's it. That's it.
How to unchange? Write a book, how to unchange. Don't change. Just keep it, keep it groovy and that's it. Don't worry
The,
about it.
the,
I'm
the
not, I'm not,
midlife
you
crisis.
asking the
Yeah.
wrong, well, just inject serotonin or something. Just deal with it. I'm not, I'm really, I'm very bad at philosophy in terms of I don't like it. I don't like to I like to talk about kings, how much the burger cost, what does the train sound like. Free will. I just leave my stuff. I'm not a successful guy in terms of how I feel about stuff too. Like you, I may be worse. I don't, do stuff that I maybe need to do. Like, I don't know. But I'm okay. It's okay. It's how I think it's good that we have like disappointments in ourselves, and there is no really the it's a kind of
I
Western again Western disease that we have this kind of problems. Our free will exists or
it
not?
is.
The problem should
It
be:
absolutely is.
am I eating Cheetos and Doritos today, or I'm eating steak? This is the problem that
Mm.
really worth investing your time in, because all this maze about intellectual, you know, what is brain, what is God, what is religion, what is this, what is that, is like a monkey in a zoo that is in a cage and is just running, creating problems. There's so much of this is not. I mean, when people say
I know.
intellectual, I may be playing a little bit of Taleb, but intellectual is the ability of simplifying these problems and to make them acceptable on a human level. It's not a sign of a good intellect or a good brain chemistry or whatever to ponder about. When you're 40 years old, you still ponder about free will, how to lose weight or something. It's just like,
Mm.
it's if it's just it's not it's just waste of time again. I think this kind of topics. And I just I don't think about him. I'm so happy I don't think about stuff. Is there free will or not? I save so much time. People say I waste time on chess. Well, guess what? But I'm not thinking about why religion exists, what free will, what is this, what is this. I'm just doing
I
something,
don't know.
it's some freedom.
Nothing is really a waste of time. I mean, if you enjoy doing a bit of intellectual masturbation, fucking do it.
Then you should
It's
say
fun.
it up front. Yes, that you're not interested in the problem. You're interested in it's like a graphoman who write because he's feel like it or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's fun. It's fun.
So
It's fun
yeah, it's
to
fun.
to to
Fun.
think about those things. It's
Yeah,
fascinating.
yeah,
But yeah, that's it.
very interesting.
So
So
how
do
was
you
it
think
like?
there
So
is
how was
God
it
or
like?
not?
Yeah.
So do you think there is
Sorry.
God or not? When you die, do you think you're gonna
There's
see God or not?
no, I don't think so.
No. What you
I
gonna
will
see?
just cease
Nothing.
to exist.
You was just going to
Nothing.
be nothing. Okay.
Yeah, maybe a light. I mean, your brain will trick you into seeing like a light and then nothing.
Okay.
That's it. You have lived your life. I hope that you have new good stuff, had good experiences, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's all there is. And
Okay.
I'm content with that. That's the
No,
realization. Like
sounds
when
good.
you think about that and you say, you know what, that's good. That's fine. I like it.
Yeah,
That's
just go. It's
yeah.
all.
That's it. You've
Yeah,
had your time here. You
yeah,
did good things. You have good experiences. You learned stuff, and you went, and that's it. And it's
yeah,
fine.
yeah,
But yeah. But I came to this realization. I mean, it takes time. It takes time, and I now I came to the realization that
Boy,
this
look,
reason.
what takes time? Understanding that there going to be nothing.
No. That came pretty quickly. It's
Okay.
it's Joe Norman. He tweeted something about the more the more it goes on, the more he realizes that religion is important. And
Mm,
I'm going through the same journey. Like, I don't think I will become religious again, but I understand the place of religion, the role it plays in society, and how it's important for
yeah.
people, and how we will go haywire if it disappears at
Yeah.
once.
Okay.
It is important. It is the vessel, the receptacle for our knowledge and our values, and it's the cheapest way to transmit those values.
Cheapest.
If
Yeah, I
we have
like
to
this word.
reinvent, if you have to reinvent everything all over again, like the way what's
No,
his
I wonder
name?
if you're going to go to some monk who is living alone for 50 years and you're going to tell it to him or to her. How is it going to sound? It's gonna be interesting to, and about that you die and it just switched off too. I want to. It's for me. We are the same boat. We are like developed people, happy lives. We're eating, uh, having podcasts.
Yeah, that's it.
You know,
Yeah, try to
yeah.
travel, and
We're not
that's
really
it.
practicing it. So once you talking between us, it's kind of one thing, but you know maybe you need to go to Moroccan desert and find somebody who give up everything and just living
Yeah,
there and
meets
just believe.
Zarathustra, right? Out of his
Yeah,
cave,
and you're going to give it to him this idea, and it's going to be interesting. It could be good film that you're going to have. So
probably.
this is the thing about it too, is that there is a layers to life. That one layer cannot be confused with another layer. Belief or life or what happened after that or this or that. They're not the same things, and they're not in the same person happening as well. You believing, you can
Exactly.
bullshit yourself. You're not believing in nothing, uh, uh, but you actually believe it. Uh, not not disrespect to you or anything. It's just like we're not one in terms of many things in life, and our reasons
Oh yeah.
will never going to be just brain, unfortunately. I or maybe fortunately, because brain is just a, you know uh, it's just a piece of uh, proteins or whatever. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree, it's
So
interesting.
yeah, it's really interesting. So what was it like to grow up in Russia in the early 90s? What
Well,
cartoons did you watch?
my father died, and my father got killed in the 90s.
Oh,
My mother was
wow.
always
Was it
working, and I was
okay?
always by myself. I was very lucky. Nobody liked me. I mean, if you were going to
I
grow
can
up in the
understand
90s,
why, but go ahead.
yeah, if you're going to live in the 90s in a family that care about you, you probably will be stupid schmuck who going to protest and change the world. But I was have a rare chance to see the world as it is without anybody explaining it to me. I mean, people give me love, like my grandma, my mother, but they have their own things to do. So very
Hmm.
early on, I was starting living alone, like having girlfriends, girlfriends, jobs, and stuff like that. And today I'm very good. But how was it living? It's good, right? Because Russian people, they are very different to, I guess, any kind of nation is different. But Russians,
Uh,
they didn't really take care of you, and this is beautiful
okay.
for uh, for believing in God,
Did you
because
did you did yeah?
because
Go ahead.
because you have to figure out stuff yourself, not reading books or whatever. And I read enough books and read a lot of newsletters and whatever. All this information. When once you start to speak other people language, you also need to start to speak their pain. But it's very difficult to understand somebody pain, but it's very easy to understand the logical conclusion of something. But this is not going to make you happy. The things that make you happy, from my understanding of the 90s in Russia, is the things you discover from within yourself, whatever it means. Like you just find it extremely attractive, something, some ideas or some people or some books or IT. And it's not like you got to read it, then you have to translate it to some formula, and then you're going to talk about this in a formula way. Like, do you believe in God? Oh, I'm a Spinoza, or I'm a Richard Dawkins. It's all in the brain, and so on the serotonin. This is one way, and it's okay. I guess you can live with it. But it's like eating Cheetos and Doritos instead of steak. But the real thing is that you got to be alone, and you need to live through it. To believe in God, really, you need to live through it somehow. So there should be some kind of event. And I was happy, I was unhappy. So I got time to understand myself. If I would be in a happy environment, who I want to be today. I don't see nothing good. I'm not better than you or any person. I want comfort. I want respect, I guess. I want to have a knowledge of life. But it's all the night
Status.
for me. It's all the night. It was the night. I wasn't welcomed in these circles. So I have a brilliant opportunity to talk just like we're talking today with a lot of people. And I got a lot of time to talk with people that I really interested in. Like old farts who have one foot in the grave, but talented writers, philosophers, musicians, stuff like that. They have no reason to lie to me. So they told me everything. And I'm very happy. Today, I'm reading some people problems. I'm laughing about it. Like, because, it's not even a problems, many things in life. It's just like, you got uncertainties, okay. Or you got like, whatever. But yeah, living in 90s. I only live in 90s. I don't know what other, I haven't lived in before or after. So, and I am not a person who is following trends of the time they living in. Anyway, so I was telling you, I was living by myself, worrying about do I have food and worrying about do I have time to do whatever. I was always doing what I really interested in. I would lie to people, I would steal, I would cheat, but I would do what I want, not what everybody tell me. So if I want to read fucking books, I would read books. I would have no food, I would find food, but I'm going to read it, or I'm going to know this person. So I have this only quality to follow my whatever emotional intellect or whatever. So and I still doing it today. And it's what's interesting to me. What's interesting to
You've
me is
always
that
been in Moscow, right?
No, I born in Moscow, but then when my father died, I live with mother in a small town. Then I came back to Moscow. But what interested to me, I am doing it very safely today. I'm much better, and absolutely, I have absolutely no kind of agreement with the people I'm doing it to, even with you and anybody. And I'm absolutely fine with it. This is my invention, I guess. And my invention is that you need a conflict in your life. If you didn't have a conflict with yourself, with the people around you, with something that doesn't make you sleep, that irritates you, if you don't have this inside yourself, you're not living the life. Once you got to the stage when you're accepting this hunger, that just it's going to show you the way. This is my philosophy, and I'm very respectful for everybody who believe in anything, because
because we have very different philosophies.
No, because I saw how people die, and I saw how people who think that the brain just shutting down die, and I saw how people who believe there is a mystery of creation or whatever, and I absolutely no doubt that when we're going to die, we're not going to get free money in terms of like you just go to deep sleep and that's it, and you wake up in a baby. No, there is going to be some kind of payback or whatever, just like with everything in life. You eat too much Cheetos Doritos, you got bad stomach next morning or whatever. So it's not about we are different. I want to be different to everybody. I'm not accepting any kind of, I'm not accepting. If you would have a idea about God, I would try to pick your brain about God is not existing. My thing is that I need this conflict. This conflict gave me the reason to do it first. And I like to have uncertainty, and I like to have unpredictability in what I was doing in life and how I understand things. I'm ready to change it, change my mind on subject and whatever. For me, real thinking, isn't about having good sleep and having good thinking about yourself. Like you ate an ecstasy pill and you happy hanging out with everybody and you kiss them and whatever. sniffing cocaine, drinking champagne. This is not thinking. For me, thinking is when you get in a borderline between absurd and ridiculously profound. And this is where you're living. And this is for me the thing, you know? See, I'm a fucking
I
pro
guess
too.
we're very different. Yeah, we're very
That's
different.
okay. That's
But
how we're supposed to be.
I totally understand your point. I get it.
I don't want to be. I don't want to be the same with
Yeah.
nobody. No disrespect. This is good
Yeah,
that
yeah,
we are different.
I know. I get that and
This
I
is how we're
respect
going to
that.
make all the money. This is how we're going to
You
make
are your
money.
own person. Yeah, you are your own
And you are
person.
your own
You have your
person
own
too.
thing. Yeah,
You're
yeah,
your own
that's it.
person too. You know.
Because
Don't
I
get
work
bullshitting
differently.
yourself. You are not a usual person like Moroccan or whatever, or even if you need, you're not a usual person. Nobody is a usual person. It's all
Oh yeah,
bullshit.
I
It's all
know.
sin and bullshit.
I know.
You know, there is no usual
It's
person.
it's uh,
Everybody is crazy in their own way or
it's the
whatever.
narrative fallacy. I
Yeah,
know. That's what you're learning with time. But I embrace mediocrity. That's the thing. I realize that
good.
mediocrity is fine and it's good,
Yeah,
and you can find happiness in mediocrity,
of course,
in
of course. You
being
can find it anywhere.
stereotypical in your life. You know.
Yeah, I love it. I
Um,
love it. I love it.
yeah, that's
I
it.
know. You
That's
know.
the realization. I mean, I had dreams when I was young. I wanted to do this and that and that, and the more I go ahead in life, the more I realize that what I want is really small things. It's that's where I find my
Yeah,
happiness. Is being a dad and having a family and having my own place
that's
and
called middle-aged
having
life.
food in the fridge, and that's it. And that
Yeah,
makes me really happy. And if I have some spare time to watch a good movie or read a good book, that's perfect. That's paradise.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
so yeah. If every person is different, but yeah, that's where I
No,
am
I'm
at
agreeing. I'm
today.
agreeing. I'm agreeing. I like.
Yeah,
I think so too. Yeah.
I don't like the
No, don't.
drama because
No, I think
I
it's
don't
you.
like
I
the
think it's
drama.
you who want to be different. Actually, not me. It's you who emphasize how different we are. Stuff like this. I didn't say this stuff. I didn't emphasize. I don't measure myself against other people. How can I do? How
Yeah,
can
yeah,
you
but
measure? You know.
yeah,
I mean, I can measure against my
that,
wife or my parents or somebody I really like.
mm,
You know, regularly interacting with. But outside of that, I'm probably, even statistically speaking Taliban language, I would probably be very wrong about my ideas about other people that I only see, you know, a couple of times in my life. All this idea
yeah,
that you can
yeah.
read people intentions or whatever,
No, I'm not.
it is
I
just
mean,
like,
yeah,
it is just, it's worse than you know, than anything. What you cannot know nothing. You cannot, we not know in yourself how you're going to know, you know,
there
stuff
are
like
different
this.
levels of knowledge. You know,
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course,
yeah, of course.
the deeper you get, the more you know, the more textured it is. But even from afar, you can get you know some
Yeah, yeah, you
contours
can.
of
Yeah,
the
yeah,
situation. So
yeah,
anyway,
yeah. But this is how Tinder works, you know. Tinder very successful. Even Conor McGregor met his wife through internet, so it's okay, I
oh
guess. You
yeah,
know? Yeah, I was watching his autobiography film. There is like a Tinder, something before Tinder, whatever, and he just dated her, and they became a couple. What's wrong with it, you know? Yeah, it's just like
it's
it's just don't bet on it. That's what I'm going to say. Don't bet on this. Just use it, just like film. You know, if you're going to approach what you see on the internet as a kind of a Martin Scorsese film, it's okay. But unfortunately, a lot of idiots think it's real, and even people who is in Moscow trying to kick poor Putin out of Kremlin, they think it's real what they see in the internet in form of data or information. They didn't have brain to, or to, they didn't brave enough to think for themselves. So they just, you know, sabotage themselves with the, uh, you know, false hopes. And yeah, I don't know why I was talking about it. I am very disappointed. Everybody tagging me in this bullshit. Moscow. Uh,
oh yeah, yeah. I
I
know. I
never
don't
been in
like
no
when
protest. I only protesting against my family. Everybody who going to watch it, I only protest about people who I love. If I love somebody enough, then I'm going to protest and talk to him about something. For people I don't know, I never, you know, going to be, you know, educating the system how to behave or anything. I only educate people I love because there's some stake in it, skin in the game. If you can criticize
yeah,
your
yeah.
mama, then you good at criticizing, you know. But I just maybe I meet the wrong people. Always I met these protesters. They not not interesting.
I have no idea about what's going on. I see
Me
people
too. I
talking
never
about
read
it.
the news. It's just people tag me
Um,
on Twitter.
I
That's how
used
I
to
know.
be I used to be like plugged to the news, but at some point I realized it's just noise. I
Yeah, it's the
remember
beauty
at
of
some
Talib.
point.
This is great Taliban idea that news
Yeah,
are wrong. Oh, this is
yeah,
beautiful.
because at
This is
some
great
point
idea.
I remember I was a teenager and I stumbled upon some old library in my dad's office, and they were like old magazines from the late 70s, and there were all
Yeah,
those news about the Lebanese civil war and stuff like that, and it's so irrelevant now. Like it's nothing.
yeah. But this is
It
also
has absolutely no consequence on
but
today. And I
but this
realized
is but this
people,
is also
yeah,
goes back how to measure person. You know, we cannot know it. We cannot know. So stuff we don't know. And it's not like the reporters wasn't honest people. Some of them really did their work and they did analysis and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I guess what time teaches us is that you know everything changed very quickly or not change at all. So you got
yeah,
this kind of prognosis plans, Lebanese war, anti-protest in Moscow, protest in Moscow, Putin this, Putin that, who Trump or Moroccan prince or whatever. It's just like you know it's it's far off from what it's going to become at the end of the day. That is a little bit the reason why
exactly.
you need
In
to
in
abandon
30
it.
years, most of it wouldn't count at all, and
Yeah,
nobody will even remember it. And some kid
yeah,
is gonna stumble upon magazines today talking about, I don't know, Black Lives Matter or the protests in Moscow, and they're like,
yeah.
what the fuck is this? What did it?
I mean
When did it matter?
the sorry thing about it is that a lot of people who are interested in it, they get a cut from it in some way. Is it financial or they get some kind of audience that listen to them? So it's not really entirely ethical what they're doing.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
they
it's
get
not
it. They
pointless for
get some kind
them.
of support. They're not doing it because they kind of you know making move forward. Very little people really do. Most of the people in the
Mhm,
popular movements of any kind, they in these movements because they that gave him some leverage in other you know fields. So kind of dishonest what they're doing in a way. I only support people who have their own opinion. I don't support people who have uh, who support some group, whatever group it is. I never find not stupid group since
yeah, yeah.
forever there
I
wasn't a not stupid group, you know.
it's
Or
I
not
see, I see
corrupt
what you mean.
or not corrupted group, I would say probably in
Yeah,
the
but if you're
government level
paid
it's
for
okay
that, yeah,
because at least everybody
yeah.
know it. But please, with all
Mhm,
these protesters and stuff, don't get idea that it's not biased with the same sicknesses that spread so widely in the White House or whatever everybody don't like. The politicians, well, politician is you. It's just like it's a ideal you know, it's ideal picture how you're supposed to be. So here you got it. No reason to fight it. Just accept it. Just
yeah,
like you said. Yeah. I want to play
yeah.
some chess,
What I
brother.
like
Please.
about
I know I'm very
okay,
bad person. You know. Um, I don't know how long we did it, but
I don't know. I have no idea.
I was actually playing chess, but because I
Are you
remember I
good at playing
promised you.
chess?
Yes. No, but I'm better probably than somebody who not playing chess. It's a lot to do with the
Okay,
practice. But I'm not a grandmaster level or nothing. I'm
okay.
first.
So
How
you're
they?
pretty good.
I'm around first very basic degree when you study chess. They go to first
Okay,
level. There is 3 levels. Then you became master. I'm on the first level. It's fucking
okay.
hard.
No, that's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I will never play chess against you because I
Why?
guess I stopped playing chess at age 11 or something like that. When I was really small, I used to play it with my dad, and at some point I just stopped playing it. And like I truly believe I haven't played chess since I was like 11 or 12 years old.
Yeah,
So
but you maybe have PlayStation 5 or something. Maybe you have like
I
what
stopped
is
at
this new game?
PlayStation 1. I haven't played video games since '99.
Well, you should have
So
it. It's maybe fun. I heard it's like have
I,
a best graphics ever. This new PlayStation.
I don't
Everybody.
have time for that. Seriously, I don't have time for that.
Well,
That's the
if you
thing.
have a time to spend an hour listening my bullshit or whatever time we're speaking, probably you
That's
have
exactly
time
how I would spend it. It was like
for
it took like 90% of the time, and that was my strategy. It was to make
yeah.
you speak. So
Yeah, but I did. Yeah. Okay. I unban you on Twitter. I'm not
okay.
forgetting. I'm unbanning you
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now,
yeah,
so
yeah.
you can enjoy it. I don't know why you want it, but you can enjoy it. You sacrifice an hour of
You're
your
in the
precious
middle.
life. You
You're
sacrifice
in the
it an
middle
hour of
of.
your life. You sacrifice an hour, and
You're
then you're going to die, and it's going to be nothing. So your life, you really paid me back very well, brother. You know, I got a lot of
no,
compensation.
no.
The bullshit Twitter man. What is this? I'm very good right now. Very good
You're
bargain.
you're in the you're in the middle of some really interesting drama, and I miss it. And I said, what's going on? I
What
need to
drama?
know. You know,
What drama?
I
People
don't
only
know.
send me breakfast photos.
I like, for example, I want to know what you said to Talib, so that he said, "What the fuck is Photoshop?" You know, something
I
like
just said
that.
Photoshop. I said Photoshop to
Okay,
everybody because I don't like pretty pictures. I don't like him. I like
okay,
ugly pictures. I see pretty picture. It reminds me of like a gallery when you got a painting of a breakfast table or whatever, and
okay.
I just you know.
Sophisticated stuff. Okay.
I just said to Maestro that it's Photoshop, and he played. We have a game. He understand that I'm joking, and he tried to make a joke back. But he is too big status, so he not joke with me. He's kind of try to punish me. But you know, this it. It's just fun. You know, it's fun.
Oh yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it.
All right.
Okay, so
So have a great day in
so see you.
Morocco. Yes, don't need
Yeah.
too much sugar. I always tell it to everybody. Too much sugar
Oh yeah,
make
I
you
know, I know,
make insulin resistance slow, stuff like
I
that.
know,
You're
I know,
gonna
I
get
know. I have
depressed.
diabetes in my family, so yeah, I need to.
See, this is what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Don't not too many
I know.
donuts. One donut, and one cup of coffee is okay.
You haven't tasted Moroccan donuts, but
I want
they will
actually to
kill
come.
you.
One day I'm going to come to Morocco. I promise. I want to go. I want to come, and maybe you're
Okay,
going to show me your beach life.
let me know.
I hope you have a golden toilet at least, or I'm out of your house. If you didn't have a golden toilet, You're not my friend. You know.
What's a golden toilet? What's a golden toilet?
You know that you piss somewhere and shit. This stuff is called a toilet, and it needs to be from gold, or at least gold color. This is how rich people
Oh, I'm
shit.
sorry.
You know, you have a toilet. I don't know
Yeah,
how you
yeah.
call it. Toilet. I don't know. VC. What is this? I don't know what's called.
No, the toilet. We call
To
it toilet.
Google golden toilet. You're gonna see what it looks like. You need to
Okay,
have
I
it.
know that
Oh yeah.
Saddam Hussein
Yes,
used to
Saddam
have the
Hussein had
golden
it, and
toilet. Yeah.
Ukrainian president who, when they kicked him out, this previous one, he got a golden toilet too. So it's a
Oh,
status thing.
okay. And I hear it resists very well to shit. You know, it's not
Yeah. Oh yeah.
shit is
Yeah.
not
Yeah. I don't
corrosive
know. I
over
don't know.
gold.
It's
So
ideal. It's ideal. Well, there is also this Japanese toilets that are very good, but they have so many
oh
buttons.
yeah,
I
they can
once saw it. I
rub
don't
your
know.
ass, and finger your
Yeah,
ass
I
while
didn't
you take a
understand
shit.
how it works. It's like you need to read the manual before you use it, and it's too late.
Yeah,
Once
I'm
you
afraid to use it because I might like it.
yeah. I did this Japanese toilets. Okay, take care.
Okay, okay.
Bye.
Take care.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you.